Right, good afternoon, good morning, good night. How's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone's good. Welcome to the 1,000 carb per day training day edition. This has basically been my baseline diet for the entirety of this off season. I literally started this kind of baseline diet pretty much before I actually finished prep, because for the last 2 weeks of prep, I was basically eating genuinely over 6,000 calories a day, which is pretty wild. But basically, I just carried that on into the off season. And now there's going to be some people that watch this video and they go, "Oh my god, I would love to eat this." Trust me, you would not. It's nice and enjoyable while you're lean, and then eventually you get to a point and you're just like, "Yeah, just getting the meals." Your sensitization towards food is effectively nothing after a certain period of time, because you just basically get to a point where you just don't even enjoy just any meals. You're just like, yeah. Here's what it is. If it was let's say for example, my mum's birthday, and she was going out for meals, I'll go out for a meal, I'd be like, oh, do we really have to go? Because I'm not that hungry. But this is all part of the process, okay? Now, obviously, for a bit of background, if anyone doesn't know, I am a super heavyweight open bodybuilder. Amateur one at that, but I mean, I'm technically, I've said FitX Pro, PCA Pro, but within the IFBB, I've never done a pro qualifier. That is the goal for this year. However, we will see entirely on where I stack up, where I line up. Realistically, my first year in open bodybuilding was last year. So the food requirements for me to grow is probably going to be a fair bit more than some people would be watching this, because I've also been in a position where I don't need this much food. I have been in positions where I grow on 500 carb, 600 carb, 700 carb, and as a result, that is make the most of that, because like I said, it sounds enjoyable. It really isn't the deeper you get into it. But in essence, when I was younger, I remember looking at the dudes that were eating so much food thinking, wow, that'd be so cool. And like I said, it's something that is a progressible sort of scale as your training intensity, musculature, all that sort of stuff increases. So that's not to say if you want to grow, you need to do this. You really probably don't, and that's absolutely fine. But this is obviously a full day of eating in regards to myself. Now, I should mention, it's a little bit later, and my routine's actually changed today, because I was supposed to be opening up the gym. For some reason, I could not sleep last night. I have no problems getting to bed. I sleep with my CPAP relatively well, for me at this sort of body weight. But for some reason, I was wide awake till stupid time. So luckily, Sanaya opened up the gym for me. But I would usually be training on one meal, one shake. And instead, I'm going to be training on 2 direct meals. So basically, it's going to be a little bit of a different sort of day. But it is what it is. Food's still got to go down. I can literally count. This is the first time I've ever had to have Sanaya open at the gym, because I couldn't sleep, which is really strange. And we've had the gym now for 10 months, so I don't even know what's the. I'm so excited to film this video. That's what I just couldn't sleep. No, that's definitely not the case. So yeah, funny. In off season, you struggle to get to bed, or you struggle to stay asleep, based off, let's say, body weight, and based off probably again my body being pretty trash from training. In prep, you struggle to stay asleep because your body's hungry and all that sort of stuff. And the good thing is, in prep, when you're not that slept, or not slept that well, you feel great, because you always say you feel great. You feel like you've still got energy. In the off season, if I sleep for less than 7 hours, I feel like I've legitimately, I don't know, got a terminal illness and I'm going to die. Luckily, I've not got a terminal illness and I'm not going to die. Fingers crossed. So yeah, right, that's that. First meal, just done an hour's worth of work. I will always do some form of fasted time, no matter how high my food is, because I really don't like eating the second that I wake up. I'll usually hydrate, caffeinate, bit of work, and then I'll either go for a walk beforehand, or cardio, or a walk after. Just with time frame, I'm going to eat now, then go for a small walk, and then that is going to be my first meal. So yeah, also I'll accompany this with my potential PDs that are going to enhance things like just general nutrient uptake, all that sort of jazz, okay? So, yeah, enjoy. Right, so first meal is going down. Now, I have 2 to 3 options for this. Usually, it's not this option, actually, because I usually have egg whites and turkey rashers. So my usual meal is 160 sourdough, 1 bagel, some honey or jam, and then 2 eggs, 250 egg white, and 3 turkey rashers. However, this time this was actually the meal that I was deploying post prep, just because I couldn't really decide what I wanted. I was like, do I want my oats and green rice, or do I want my eggs? So I just had both, basically. So I had a little bit less to do. So we have 100 sourdough, we have 2 whole eggs, that's the fat source. We then have a 60 grams of oats with 60 grams of cream of rice into this mess or whatever, with 55 grams of whey, 1 banana, and 20 grams of honey. Total macros for this meal are I think 185 carb, 15 fat, and then 70 protein. This is also accompanied with some Lantus, which is starting insulin. I take this more so as a prophylactic, take off stress from the body, helps with, I say nutrient uptake because basically I look at like slow acting insulin more as something that's just going to be working within the background. It's not where I'm looking to rapidly bring down blood glucose levels. Realistically, I like the synergy between the growth hormone pathway, which I'm taking a good amount of, and then obviously the insulin pathway, and it's a storage hormone. So I will always try and keep fats a little bit on the lower side. My training days, I never really like to go above like 60 to 70 fats at the absolute maximum, even with 1,000 carbs. I feel like my appetite's better, I feel just generally better. And then as well, because it's a storage hormone, even though you could eat 100% of your fat and still be within a calorie deficit over the day, you're not going to be adding body fat just because you have slightly higher fats. But I do think to myself, there is a certain element where I would rather have the fats a little bit lower, especially when I'm using insulin. I also will take my morning SLU-PP332, and then I will also take my 150 T4, just because that's a replacement dose for me. My T4 levels have never come back after prep in 2023, so I take that year round. And then yeah, this is the meal. I shall show you once it's assembled, and then basically crack on with a little bit more work after a small walk to aid and help with digestion, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, all good guys, all good.
I would love to be able to do some of the things I used to do. I wish I listened to my body more.
Right, I will say this is not on the topic of the video, however. There we are. Look at how cute Beanie is. And Mimi. Look, we got Mimi. Oh. Mimi is on 2,000 grams of carbs a day because she is huge. She doesn't move. Bean, on the other hand, Bean. Yeah, look at my pretty cat. Oh. That is the most anabolic thing you can do as a 27-year-old bloke. Tickle your cats. Right, so fresh trim acquired. Burst fade, X perm. Hell fucking yeah. So, next meal, pre-workout meal. So, like I said, usually this is like my usual pre-workout meal. So, usually this is my usual pre-workout meal. Yeah. Usually this is my my first meal, not my second. However, obviously because I wake up a little later, change your routine. So we have chicken, rice, barbecue sauce because Ronnie had barbecue sauce on his chicken and rice. If you don't, I don't even know what the fuck you guys are doing. Honey as well. And then we have a good amount of jam. I'm going to be honest, guys, being slack, don't have a scales. I'm just going to have to guesstimate what 50 grams of jam is. So this is 225 grams of carbohydrates. Fats wise, literally minimal. Funnily enough, I actually pull down fats as I get deeper into an off season, just based on the fact that, like, obviously fats slow down digestion. In a dieting phase, I want to keep my blood glucose levels, ideal blood sugar levels, quite stable. Not glucose, more so blood sugar. I don't really want the meal to be digested immediately. I obviously have sustained energy at this point. I have enough energy, just based off my lower back, probably. My lower back is sustaining as much energy as I need to train for probably the next year. That is a joke, but that's kind of true. So basically, I have obviously the food situated, no fats. I train about 45 minutes. I get to the gym in about 35-40 minutes, 10 minutes of steps. I will then have my intra workout, about 2 exercises into the session. For today we have push, a bit of arms, but more so push. Last session was more so arms and a bit of push. This session is more so push, tiny bit of arms. And yeah, otherwise decent amount of salt. Water wise at this point, about 3.5-4 litres deep. Usually at this point in the off season, I have about 7 to 8 litres, and prep 10 to 12. A lot of water, but especially when obviously you're a decently bigger dude, you probably will need to consume a good amount of fluid. And obviously, well, with more salt, more sodium, it's important to be hydrated. So fluid is something I think a lot of people neglect in off seasons because you're full. Like realistically, I drink less than I do in prep, but it's essential to make sure to stay on top of fluid. Okay, so yeah, that is that. Gonna get this meal in, then go and train, or gonna get to the gym, steps, intra, train, all that sort of jazz. So yeah. Right, here we are, guys. We are in the gym. Literally, it's been, if I have a look, oh, actually, it's a bit longer. It's been an hour since I had my pre-workout meal. So I think meal timings, obviously, they're important to a certain degree. When I'm dieting, I could like eat my pre-meal, come and train within 5 minutes, and most of the time, I'm absolutely sound. like I don't really need that long. But the deeper I get into the off season, the more that I need to basically have a little bit longer in between meals relative to training time, all that sort of jazz. And to be fair, in between meals in general. Steps beforehand, I always do 10 minutes no matter the phase, just 10 minutes of steps just to get myself moving. And then yeah, away from that, looking forward to the session. I actually haven't done push here now for the last 2 rotations, 1 rotation. Yeah, 2 rotations. I haven't done an actual like chest focused push day, which is quite cool, because that means I can basically look to pretty much do the incline barbell, which I'm looking forward to. So incline free weight barbell, realistically, when I'm dieting, I'll probably take it out, but I've been having some fun with it. So I'm gonna have that in as the first main movement. And then away from that, usual jizz jazz for pressing work, very much chest focused. I really haven't done that much shoulder focused work this off season because my shoulders are a lot stronger than my chest. So hopefully this gets all soaked up. And then when it comes to my intra-workout shake, we have 50 gram of carb from Carb Drive, 2 scoops of aminos, essential amino acids, so the essential gains, 2 scoops of creatine, so like 20 grams creatine, and then 2 scoops pump product, basically. Pretty sort of simple stuff. So yeah, I haven't actually done my intro, that's why I'm not showing it, but I do it like after 2 movements. So I'll do it after the lateral raise, or like I do a lateral raise fly sort of superset just to get warm, and I'll do it after my my chest press. So yeah, all good. Dude, could you take some pics? Sorry. Yeah, sure. So, my phone's on the window, so that's cool. It's got 2%, so anyways, it's got 2%, so I need the fastest photo. £200. Hell yeah. What is better than one R9 sign top? Two R9 sign tops. Bit of a... No, for fuck's sake. Right, that looked a bit weird. Sorry for the lighting, guys. For some reason, the camera's doing the weird thing where it doesn't seem to locate. Oh, there we go. It's actually going straight now, which is cool. So, post-workout, we have accompanied this with 6 IU of fast-acting insulin. So, the rationale for the reason this meal is 250 carbs. The rationale for obviously insulin use is when you need to basically open the door for nutrients to go intramuscular. Now, with the peptides that I'm using, I am basically going to be far more insulin sensitive across the board in pretty much every aspect, and as a result, I don't need to be taking loads of fast-acting insulin with my bigger carb meals. If I wasn't using, let's say, peptides to enhance insulin sensitivity, I probably would be opting for fast-acting insulin either pre, intra, and potentially post, or definitely pre and post. But now I only have it post-workout because I definitely find when I have it pre-workout, I can always get almost a bit too pumped, a bit too full. Sorry again for the lighting. Camera's a bit shit. DJI 600-700 quid camera, and it's literally the worst thing in the entire world. I do not recommend these cameras. However, post-workout is, believe it or not, the exact same. However, we have a little bit more honey and a little bit more jam. So we have the rice, jam, cream of rice. What am I on about? Sorry, I was looking at this thinking, have I got jam on this? No, it's barbecue sauce. So barbecue sauce, because Ronnie, honey, bagel with jam. There we go. Don't know why that took so long for me to get it out. Away from that, session-wise, really good. Fantastic session. Yeah, honestly, really good. I can't really complain. Visuals post-workout, pretty cool. Really happy to have how things are looking. Do apologise for how fucking messy this room looks. I have my exercise bike as a clothes rack right now because one of my wardrobes legitimately broke, so the beam fell. So it's a bit messy in here. However, yeah, great session. No complaints. Like I said, pump wise, really good. Definitely doing a little bit more volume now through the upper or through my chest, just so I can basically not ruin myself with loads of low volume sets without the actual quality needed. And then, like I said, visuals, happy. So yeah, productive day. Post-workout meal going in, 250 carb, and then I will do a little bit more work. That'll put me to about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Small walk, and then next meal, a little bit of time, chill, and then probably a cereal meal before bed. So yeah, the joys. Right, so now you're going to intro the dinner.
Intro?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay, so we've got gnocchi filled with mozzarella, burger, then we've got some Korean chicken. It's not really Korean chicken because we've not got the Korean sauce, but and we got some gnocchi, some tomato, mozzarella, pasta, well tortellini with bacon in it, cheese, chili, and onion. And then Reese got a boatload of chicken, which she's going to have tonight. All of that.
All of it, yeah.
And then we're going to watch the extra.
Basically, tonight summed up really well. Yeah, so I have this meal rotates between fajitas, rice, chicken, egg fried rice, burgers, and this. Really, that's it.
No, there's another one, I swear.
No, that's literally it. We don't have any others.
Well, I do, but you
Yeah, Sanaya does. I don't. I to be fair, most of the time I just either have rice, chicken, eggs, burgers or pasta with chicken. It's just literally a swap out carb source. So a little bit more calories, just because effectively this is how I'm going to get a good amount of carbs. And usually it's around 200 carb in this meal. This is obviously my post, so my ability to obtain nutrients is still going to be pretty high, so I can obviously eat a good amount. And then depending on how many calories I either have one meal or I have a shake. So I still eat again, but it's either a shake or cereal. What's that? Cookies. Yeah, and also Sanaa has made me in this cookie tin as a celebration for the off-season ending, because Reese is no longer going to be fat, some cookies in a tin that I need to get through because my diet starts in a few days because I'm a fat mess. So yeah, Sanaa, let's show the meal. Oh my god, one sec. Oh wow. Do that again, put that in there and mess it around.
Can you feel this?
Do you know what that sounds like?
Yeah, your asshole when I go in it with a black dildo.
Hey guys, please like, comment, subscribe, because Reese is
Reese is being sent to bed.
being sent to bed. I'm not allowed to eat the meal now. So yeah, shake going down as well. Obviously, yeah. Sorry guys, long day. So the remainder of this to put me just a bit over 1,000 carb. Fats wise, I have to work it out. I roughly guess first meal was 16 grams. I have to get up my meal plan. Second meal was like 3. Final meal that I just showed, not this meal, was like another 20. So I'd like to say probably around 55 to 60 fat. I think it's like 57 fat, if I'm not mistaken. And then protein, it varies between like 360 and about 400. I don't really have, I have like a minimum. I wouldn't go below 350. But that being said, like protein's one macro that if I'm like, if let's say for example I'm hungry, I'm gonna have a little bit of extra chicken with meals, like I do in the off season. That's something I've always done. It doesn't impact digestion as long as it doesn't impact my appetite for the rest of the day. That should be all good. So yeah, that is that. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed the video. If you haven't, then cool. I don't think you got to this point. If you have, then please like, comment, subscribe, because I'm being told off because I need to go to bed, because like I said, I did not sleep that well last night, which is like first time in years. Like, I remember like not sleeping well when it's not a prep. Crazy. So yeah, either way, it's been fun to video. I got loads of likes of people saying they want to see shit like this, and I don't know, just eating food, guys. Just eating the same sort of stuff over and over again. So yeah, either way, that is that. I'll leave it there. Peace.